Do you want to know what the fallen are, little one? In a sense, they are angels, but not the angels your mom imagines she prays to. Brass trumpets picnicking in the clouds. In their true essence, they are great swirling engines of wing and blood, fiery eyes that peer around the corners between worlds. Dark, radiant things conjured from fresh battlefields. A Frankenstein's Valkyrie, forever crashing to Midgard. What grief demands their hate? What vast cannibal hunger?
Welcome to the Fallen Cycle Mythos Fiction Podcast. This universe is full of secrets, waiting for those brave or foolhardy enough to seek them out. Cycle 2, Party at the World's End. Take a mad ride past the event horizon of sanity, as Lilith and her band of miscreants transcend from escaped convicts to superstars of a different kind. They grapple with the intoxication of growing influence. This is the story of those fallen who walk amongst us in a universe where 2012 went a bit differently, and hints of the world that is to come. Discover more about the Fallen Cycle mythos, including comics, novels, setting lore, and an RPG currently in development at fallencycle.com. And for our discussion and actual play exploration of RPG system and setting, visit modernmythology.net. This podcast contains adult themes and may induce psychosis. And now on with the show.
Season 5. Chapter 10. The Revelation of Flesh. 2011. Let us sit on the ground and tell sad stories about the death of kings. Shakespeare.
I was in a grocery store with Stella, and I think I was awake. I think this was real now. I'm not dreaming? I can't tell anymore. I'm here, and I'm always going to be here. Agent 888 in aisle 8. I pace in an aisle and try to ignore that Play-Doh smell, still clinging to my headboard made of cheap plaster and wood, a head lined with wires buzzing zzz as the moments pull like taffy between eager children fingers. The meat of my body tenses, a canvas stretched over a framework of ancient calcium and phosphorus. Bzzzt. Pig hearts quietly wrapped in cellophane. Bzzzt. Electrical current running through us all. I can feel the weight of the atmosphere, the pressure of miles of air and radio waves and Wi-Fi signals pressing down on my chest. I can't breathe in here, you assholes! I scream, but no one responds. The pig hearts are all pulsating in unison with my own pig heart, convulsing in the encaged crevasse of my chest. A woman grabs her child close and they rush past this crazy bag of meat and bones that hasn't shaved in a week, oscillating neurotic frequencies in a medium of thin air. I gasp and reach out for Stella's reassuring hand, but now I can't find it and my hand just hangs out there, awkward and useless. I'm alone. She's in aisle 9 looking at cat food. Should we get the pine stuff? She asked, really too far away for me to respond conversationally. I grunt and lurch sideways, my hand still sticking out at an odd angle, as if I was a statue or Frankenstein's monster coming to life. Imagine you're at a party and you realize that you just took the proverbial one shot too many, and you're trying to hide it from everyone and act like you're really okay and not about to puke all over yourself, piss down your leg, or fall over. You have to get out. No, I yelled. She looked at me and shrugged. We can't flush the clay stuff is all. This isn't about fucking groceries, I mumbled, pushing the sounds clumsily past a tongue gone thick and limp. All my life I have denied the truth. High tide is coming. The established rules are a 404 prison camps, the grim meat hook, future forever. It's the end of everything, but not. It's like, fuck. I have to get out of here. I lurched toward the checkout aisles. Stella followed behind, a crate full of nonsense tucked under her arm. cat litter, deodorant, pens, lighters, a stick of butter, celery, milk, and chocolate syrup. I had to start breathing through my mouth. Wasn't getting enough air. Oxygen is sanity, and there isn't enough. I nodded at the guy ringing up my groceries and figured it would pass. Can you imagine how sickly and false my smile looked, forcing a crack through my weathered skull? But the checkout guy didn't even notice. A secret reality, the secret glory. The truth is already written, but men do not what? I couldn't remember. The madness came in waves. I gripped the counter harder. Boy, I said, wearing a forced rictus smile. Pine cat litter sure is expensive, huh? Another wave washed over me and I rode it straight out the door. I knocked a shelf over. Hundreds of cans of Campbell's soup slammed to the floor and rolled around, tugged at by eddies of my madness. I leaped, rolled through the automatic doors, and came to my feet in an all-out run. They wouldn't take me alive. By this time, Stella could see something was wrong. I stopped, back bent, and arched over my caved-in chest, panting and retching. Her fingers tightened around mine, and she asked me what had happened, so I told her. Though how could I really explain? When I got into the car, I was having a hard time breathing properly, and I felt my pulse racing again. Let it happen. You can't fight it. Let it happen. The words kept repeating in my head, slowly at first, but then faster and faster until it was just a meaningless stream of consonants and vowels, a babbling brook of broken glass and suffocated dreams. Everything got dark and far away. The brook froze and then shattered. Bliss. It slammed into my every warm cell, coming at the same time, and I threw my head back with a terrific ah as I realized that it was perfectly okay. Everything. If I died right then and there, if I had never been born, it was okay that I had no idea what the truth was, and it was okay that none of this would be remembered. Behind it all, the endless, forgetful sleep. Fuck me, you time whores, I screamed. The curvature of space-time was the erogenous zone of the universe, wound inward by gravity, molecules fucking one another so tightly that only the pressure of a sun could give them the sweet release they thirsted for, to ride with the photons in eternity, the timeless heaven of light. Helium, hydrogen, deuterium, I wailed, bucking around under my seatbelt like an astronaut, blasting into outer space. I could feel the ancient building blocks of the universe transforming inside of me. Stella's eyes widened. She subconsciously accelerated, looking over with concern. Couldn't she see the matter of my dense form transfigured into eternal light by the blasts of Gabriel's horn? She must be able to see it. I just figured out how the universe works, I gasped. But I can't tell you. I have to let it go. This is a test. I told her that sometimes I feel like I'm going to tear myself apart, trying to hold on, trying to figure it out, solve the puzzle. And now, right now, is a free fall with the kinetic force of a 2-ton vehicle traveling at 60 miles an hour before you're staring dumbly at your arm, snapped sideways in its socket, and whose blood is that warm and puddling in your lap? Coming and coming and coming, my eyes roll back in my head. Dead, I'm already dead. Oh God, Stella, coming. I can see the cells of my head, phosphorescent, then putrefying, the minerals in my bones and teeth seeping into the earth, carried by rainwater and gravity and wind, moving across the planet, blown into the atmosphere dead. I've been dead for a millennia already, my mycelial parts spreading spiderweb, fractal-like through the universe forever until another spark. Life comes again and flickers off again so quickly. My eyes opened, baby new and fresh, tiny universes waiting to be born. We were sitting in the parking lot and Stella was sobbing. I had been speaking gibberish for what must have been hours in her time. I felt nothing at that moment except the afterglow from having been everything. Life is just a beautiful, meaningless spark, exiled in an endless expanse. Such a tiny, fragile thing. It flashes for a moment, and then it's gone. How do we reconcile that with this bone-deep certainty that we are the center of a universe? For a moment, I stood in the balance between those opposites. But what do you say? What can you say? When she looked at me, it was a look I'd never seen, the eyes of a stranger. You need help, she said, and I knew it was her way of preparing to step back. She didn't say it then, wouldn't and couldn't say it then, but it was her way of saying that something had changed, that she had seen how fucked up I really am under the surface for a long time now, but she just couldn't hide it anymore, and she'd stick around a while, because that's what good people do. Soon enough, she'd meet someone who liked the same music that she liked, or who talked to her about her favorite band, and pretty soon, she'd be washing his underwear, and I'd be that asshole who she had tried to save, but just couldn't. It was all so clear. I still felt nothing except this hollow ache in the spot which fondly recalled the comfortable, meaningless mosaic of shared experience. I could see it flickering in the dark, each memory like a pixel on a broken computer screen, and then nothing. The endless sleep makes us strangers to one another. I knew that there was no turning back. I had committed to this fate and had to see it through. And I really had to change my pants, because in the process of following the molecules of my body in their whimsical dance through space and time, I came all over them. How can you trace the spiral of your life back to its point of origin? You may spin around in that darkness, but you'll just knock your head on the pots hanging over the sink. You're in the void, boy, and she's thirsty for you. Lock your doors, it ain't gonna matter. Up your drains, she comin' then, slink into your bed. Like a spider, she gonna climb out of that hole in the night. She'll get her parts in you. And the worst part is, you'll almost like it at first. But what in fuck am I talking about? She left. Big surprise. Whether it was a self-fulfilling prophecy or whether it was just meant to be, it was a month later, almost to the day. A fittingly maudlin but quiet parting. The sky was overcast. It was drizzling. And she pulled out in our car. Okay, admittedly, it was her car to begin with, but it was also my only form of transportation. She was the only one with a steady income at this point. So I figured I had a month, maybe 2, before the eviction process really got underway. First thing, before I put on my clothes, before I showered, why bother? I picked up the phone and I called Bradley. I am on to you, you deranged fucker, or are you on to me? Either way, I'm ready. Oh, is that how it is now? How long since the missus pulled out of the driveway? I didn't bother to guess how he'd figured that out, and grunted an affirmative. I still felt nothing. Well, I felt ready to die, but like a soldier is ready to die, not like a lovelorn fuck-up, living on borrowed time. I looked through the nearly empty fridge, rummaging for something to quell my gurgling stomach. Milk. Eggs. That'll do. Our test of mall security showed me a few things, he said. Our test? Yeah, you took one for the team. Now it's time for the real op. I drank half the milk carton before I realized it had gone bad. A chunk of congealed milk stuck in my throat like stale semen. And my God, how did I know that anyway? I swallowed with a wince, ready to do my duty for God and country. You're really starting to scare me, Bradley said. All right, this time we call in the bomb threat before anyone shows up. Maximum chaos, maximum fun. All the agents will roll in dressed like Santa Claus, a giant fucking parade. One of you crucified on a giant $sign. Isn't it early for Christmas? Yeah. Well, they say Christmas comes earlier every year, right? Sure, I said. I threw out the milk. Glug, glug, glug. It shuddered in my hands like a prom queen puking up a gutful of tequila and cake. They'll think it's a prank. Boy cried wolf, right? He said. Right, but in reality it'll be... I trailed off, eyes unfocused. It'll just be that, a crazy reality art prank. I knew with absolute certainty that he was lying. Bradley had a map laid out on an expansive table in the basement. All the agents attended. All had their shades on. Bradley was ignoring them, placing models on the map meticulously. Robots, guns, tanks. Agent 117 chortled. What's funny? Bradley asked. Nothing. It's just, you're playing with your dolls. Just for that, you get trash detail, Bradley said, throwing a folder at him. These are your cover stories, your IDs, and the specs of your missions. Don't share notes with fellow classmates, kids, or I'll have you raped by a pack of silverback gorillas. I opened up my folder. It had a drawing of Jesus Christ, with a halo and dressed like Santa, crucified to a $1 bill. Under it, Bradley had written, "Congratulations, you have the most important job of all. Bring the Shroud of Turin, or a bath towel." I stared at it, feeling a faraway pressure in my temples. All right, look, I don't want this. I tried to hand the folder back to him. Bradley looked me square in the eyes. There is a fork in the road. On one side, we have you, turning down this op and going home to your empty, illegally occupied apartment. On the other, you get to see the sublime in action, the truly fucking sublime, when chaos shatters the foundations of civilization and truth peeks back at you through the cracks. What will it be? I don't know why, but I took the folder. Good boy. Agent 777 scowled. I don't see anything in my mission which requires that fancy map you've got over there. And what the fuck are those miniatures supposed to be? Hovercrafts and tanks? Bradley shrugged. It's game night. I needed a cover for our meeting. Make sure to take some Mountain Dew before you leave. I arrived at the mall parking lot at the appointed time. There I saw all the usual suspects, plus a few faces I hadn't seen before. Agent 777 smirked at me. I can't believe you agreed to this, man. Me either, I said quite sincerely. Why did I? When the hood went over my head, I realized it was a bit late to be asking myself that question. There was no turning back. We so often make ourselves complicit in others' designs, a passive bystander in our own lives. We'll even let ourselves be tied to a giant $sign, dressed like Santa Christ, apparently. I wonder when it's all over, will I talk about how Bradley used me? No, I have to accept my role in my life. Somehow. Hands were moving over my arms and feet now, securing and testing the straps. Hey, guys, I asked, my voice muffled under the hood. Do you need to make it so tight? Does it matter? Oh, it matters, I heard a voice say ominously. Then another, it'd be rude not to have a Christmas present for the Leviathan. I struggled in earnest then, but it was no use. I may as well resign myself to my fate. It was never my decision, after all. Then I felt myself being hoisted, the sound of the holiday float coming to life with a deep diesel grumble, the shrieks of what sounded like protesters. Amongst them, I thought I could make out some familiar voices as well. I heard the agents playing at police, ordering the protesters to disperse through a megaphone. Finally, the hood came off, leaving me face to face with a mob of screaming white suburban kids, all their nonsense slogans blurring together into a word salad nightmare. We are the 99%. Santa Jesus died because you touch. Obama was not a brown-skinned. Bring back Crystal Pepsi. I shaved my balls for this. Hungry. Eat a banker. Christmas Wonderland blasted from the police loudspeakers, drowning out the protesters' gibberish. A bristling line of cops rolled into their midst as fake snow drifted down from above. Agent 777 winked at me from under his riot gear, right before laying out one of the protesters with his nightclub. Fists and sticks connected with human bodies, and once the chaos had reached its peak, even the protesters were brawling with one another. At that point, most of the familiar faces slipped from the scene, leaving a bloody, shrieking mess for the real police when they finally arrived in response to another bomb threat at the KOP Mall. And there I was, their Christmas lamb wrapped with a bow. Remember how I said I am obsessed by patterns, that I've always seen them everywhere? Patterns are the glue holding our universe together. Let me see if I can explain it another way. It might seem that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. And see, by appearances, that is right. But straight lines are curved. The amount that they curve is determined by the mass of another body, distorting of the fabric of space and time itself. When Bradley passed through my life, my course was irrevocably changed. When Stella left, there were no other bodies exerting enough gravity to keep me in a neat, orderly orbit. I hurled into deep space. Just a little nudge at that critical moment can change everything. I looked for patterns and clung to them so tightly because I was afraid of the chaos. Now it all unravels, unspooling around me like intestines floating in water, sweet slippery tendrils scrubbed clean by the alkaline. Nothing matters. And it's okay. It may as well be okay. 30 years looking for meaning in news clippings, the scent of the flowers or garbage I just walked by, my dreams, numbers, patterns. Only now do I realize nothing holds me anywhere. All bonds are illusion. For now, I continue with the role, a patsy for a fictional art crime. The situation, a lifetime in a cage. The motivation, I am Richard II in his cell, praying that the cosmic weight of thought alone can sustain him in the dark womb. I can see that now. There is nothing here but a mask. A year I've been locked up here, years to rot away, but no more tale to tell. What part of nothing don't we understand? Bradley picked up the phone attached to the grimy wall beside a bulletproof glass shield. Fluorescent lights flickered overhead. I sat on the other side, feeling fractured. A flash of sympathy seemed to twinkle in his eye and disappeared just as quickly. It had to be you. Nothing personal, he said. I felt the confines of my reality drawn and quartered. Fuck you, man. Jesus. Fuck you. Why did you do it? A sacrifice had to be made. You understand ritual, don't you? Don't patronize me. We need the chaos to instigate change, he said, like that explained anything. As in surgery, an action should be done clearly, directly, and with lucidity. Ordo ab chao, order through chaos. That made me deserve this, I asked. Come off it, Your Majesty. We don't deserve to be sucked off or shot or starve. We didn't deserve to be born. It fucking happened. Deal with it. But if you want to pin yourself with some complicity, then here you go. Every t-shirt you ever bought, every collectible lunchbox or bobblehead or piece of memorabilia, every porno you ever watched since the time you first learned to masturbate, every raunchy microwave burrito you purchased from the 7-Eleven. You willingly participated in this deception, and for that, you may as well be guilty. So before you judge me for what I chose to do, please realize that your shtick was ineffective and banal. I am productive and effective. I'm sorry that it leaves you on that side of the glass and me on this side. But that's how it is, and how it will always be. And then he hung up the phone and walked out of my life forever.
The phone rang. One last op, Bradley said. The voice on the other end reached for a mentholated cigarette from the pocket on the vest of his t-shirt. Bradley could hear it rustle, then the crisp inhale. Bradley, listen. I told you. You're spun. None of this is even real, man. It's in your head. I think you should probably stop entertaining your paranoid delusions and try to actually get help, he said. Bradley laughed. Don't you remember? Don't you see? You've been one of us all along. Agent 888 took a deep breath and sighed, insinuating his displeasure. One last op, and you're done, Bradley said, before tossing his phone in the trash as he strolled past. So many Agent 888s, so little time.
That concludes Season 5 of the Fallen Cycle Mythos podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed making it. Stay tuned for the conclusion to Party at the World's End in Season 6 of this podcast, Summer 2026. And of course, explore our site and tell your friends. Party at the World's End was written by James Curcio. Thanks to JF Stackhouse and Nate Sampsell for collaborating on early drafts of this story. The soundtrack was produced by James Curcio, with special thanks to various creative collaborators for inspiration and soundtrack source from old sessions, including, in no particular order, Scott Landis, Sean Marsden, Jen E., Sarah and Rahul Iyer, Martine Della Ruffa, David Bessel, Ari, and Nate Sampsell. Cut the Sky's Throat, an album selected from this feature's soundtrack, is free to stream and will be available on Bandcamp. Music by Lilith, Dionysus, Cody, Jesus, and Ariadne. A statement on the use of neural networks is available on our website for those curious about how we do, and don't, use these technologies. This podcast is Creative Commons 3.0, Attribution, Share and Share Alike, Non-Commercial Use.